Hi, everyone. My name is Ariana. I am from the Chicago School. A little bit about me. I'm currently a master's student in counseling psychology with a concentration in Latinx mental health. I am a first generation student and I've been working as a social emotional facilitator at Oakley Square Apartments for about 3 years now. Um, my project overview is takes place at Oakley Square Apartments. Around June 18 of last year, Oakley Square community suffered a horrible tragedy where a 7-year-old boy was shot and killed right outside of our building where we hold our after-school Excel program. So this tragedy really reinforced my determination to ensure that no child feels alone and processing their emotions after devastating events. So the Mindful Mind program was implementing at Oakley Square. Um, that took about 8 sessions, 8 weeks, focusing and supporting the mental health of those 5 students that um, had suffered some sort of trauma in their neighborhood. One of the key features from the program was the one-on-one mentoring while using a workbook called Miley and Friends Going Through Trauma Workbook. So this was a cognitive behavior guide that was designed specifically for children to manage anxiety and trauma through developmentally appropriate activities. The facilitator-led sessions was through facilitators that were already part of the Excel program, and they were just paired up with one of the students to work on those building those emotional regulating, coping, and problem-solving skills. The main materials that we used throughout the program was the workbooks that was given to each student that was with the help with the facilitator. We use color pencils so it can be fun for the students and be still engaged while doing the workbook. We also had used the clock or a timer just so we made sure that we didn't go over a 1 hour limit, and we each had a quiet space that we were with the individual student that we were working with. Um, like I said, we used the pre-existing relationship with Oakley Square, where we had picked 5 children from the Excel program who experienced trauma. Before we started the program, we did end up eh, reaching out to each caregiver from the child and made sure to explain them about the program we wanted to pilot and also do informed consents to let them know about everything that was going to be working with the child, and the facilitator was going to be between us, but we were still going to be able to like let them know the process of what we were doing with them. Um, we also were well, I was also meeting with the supervisor from the Excel program, Joe Glenn, to be like discussing the budgets. Um, so we were discussing about like dinner because we were doing that for the children before starting the sessions, since this was right after the Excel program, and then the timelines of like making sure that we were on track during those 8 weeks. We also had those weekly meetings with the creator of Miley and Friends, Susan Thompson, which she is a LPCA, just so she can train us for every session we were gonna have each week, and then just be able to like process how each session went that week. Um, and the beginning at the end of during the project, we did a pre and post test that was created with the help of the school psychology program chair, Dr. Caitlin Lomos. Um, this is an example of how the workbook looked. This is like the cover of Miley and Friends, and then the table of contents that the workbook had. So it was like talking about their safe place, bad things that happened to them, their story, when they're feeling spiral, any core wounds and feelings. And then we ended the program with some self-care. And then the third picture is the pre and post test that we ended up doing with the children. the children had the help with the facilitator, so it wasn't like them being given. We were also like guiding them throughout the questions, so they knew how to answer them. The process, part two, some major challenges that I experienced throughout this project was just encouraging the children to share their experience. Obviously, we knew that it wasn't going to be easy for them to speak out about what they have experienced in their community, what have they seen. So it was just that patience that we had to have with them, and it did take about 3 weeks for many of them to start opening up about their experiences. It was also having those children focus on the workbooks. Like I said, this was right after the Excel program, so I know that they had a long day from school, then going to the Excel program, and then staying after um, to do this program, and then just adjusting materials for the children so they can be fully engaged. So I think at there was some point that we had to bring some stickers or we had to bring some fidget toys so they can be more engaged and not feel like they want to go home already or wanted to go out to play. Some lessons I learned was that it was a really eye-opening experience. I really discovered that there's a need for more parent-focused mental health education in many low-income neighborhoods. I learned the value of creating a safe and consistent space for students, and caregivers appreciate being part of what their children was doing, and they really appreciate gaining the knowledge of each topic that we were going through the children because they were able to take that home and work with them. The outcomes from my project, it was when it came for coping and self-regulating skills, before the program started, 2 out of 5 of the students were able to name a coping skill, and some didn't know what to do when scared. Once the program finished, all 5 students were able to list at least one personalized coping strategy, like deep breathing, saying that they were going to be hugging their stuffed animal or using positive self-talk. I know one student was able to like describe that they were going to be doing bubble baths and cucumber eye mask as a self-care. When it came to communication, help seeking, before the program, a few participants knew how to talk about scary experiences or who to go to for support. Right after, all of the students were able to at least name one trusted adult and gave examples of what helps them feel better. Um, that trusted adult was usually somebody very close to them. It will either be somebody from the Excel program, or it will be their parents or a loved one. For safe places, most students struggle to articulate a safe place or name what made them feel safe right when the program started. And after the program ended, all the students were able to name a specific safe place. The majority of them said the Excel room, or they will say a family member or their bedroom, and then just let us know why they feel safe and feel secure in those safe places. And lastly, when it came to confidence and positive self-talk, um, the pre it was very rare for them to use positive self-talk. They will be saying that they don't know that they don't belong in many places, and it was a lot of negative self-talk when it came with all the children. And right after the program ended, many of the students were using a lot of affirmations and were able to be using more positive self-talk. So like some examples that many of them said was like, I am wonderful, I am strong and smart, I can do it, I got this, and so on. For my next steps and hopes from this program, I really hope that this becomes a consistent source of support and just continue growing this program. Yes, I really hope that this can spread to more low-income neighborhoods, more neighborhoods that suffer from trauma, gun violence, and stuff related to that. Also, I just inspire other communities to adopt similar emotional regulating and trauma-informed relationships based off like these type of mentoring models. And then the last thing from my program, I just hope that each child is able to walk away feeling seen, heard, and capable of managing those big emotions. Just letting them know that they're not alone in um, this world. For my personal growth, some lessons I really learned was how to co-create programming with community voices. So I was very like being out there and connecting with the community. I was also able to like strengthen my trauma-informed care knowledge. So throughout like those sessions I had with Susan, I was able to like learn more about CBT and how to work with kids when it came to like the workbook and anxiety and trauma. I was also able to like develop more communication and outreach skills. And lastly, the takeaways from a project was just it just deepened more a commitment to mental health equity in many neighborhoods in the Chicago area. I really gained insight and real world applications for my academic training once I graduate and become a counselor in the future. I am very proud of all the relationships and the trust both that I built with those children and the families in the community. And I was just very grateful for the opportunity that I was able to learn not only from the program, but from the children and the community and hear what their needs are. Thank you.